former Eastern Cape Health MEC Sindiswa Gomba and 14 co-accused will now appear on the 28th of July after the case was postponed again today. The suspects appeared briefly at the East London Magistrate's Court this morning. For more on the story, we're joined by our reporter Malugelo Booi, who is outside the East London Magistrate's Court. Malu, a very good morning to you. So the former Health MEC expressing her frustrations at the case being postponed once again.
That's right, Koli. Perhaps let's start with what happened inside the court. Those accused really packed that courtroom, the first seat and the second seat. It is important, Koli, to note that there's about, 15 accused in this matter. 12 of them are human beings like me and you, and 3 others are some of the entities or the businesses that were used in this alleged corruption. And of course, there was drama inside the courtroom when defense lawyers, almost all of them really, lambasting the state for being not ready to provide them with their indictment. The lawyers saying that this is actually making it very difficult for them to prepare for this matter, but also saying that this case actually has financial and political implications for some of the people that are accused in this particular matter. You'd recall, Koli, some of the suspects in this case, including Gomba and others, are very key or senior people in the ANC here in the Amatole region of the Eastern Cape. So that's why we had the lawyers also, raising their frustrations. And of course, I got to also speak to Sindiswa Gomba, that's the former MEC for Health, who was fired because this matter was actually, because this case or the charges against her were reinstated. She told me and other journalists outside this court that she is frustrated at the delay. Let's take a listen.
It can only be an irresponsible person who's not worried about one's name. That's the first point that you must know. If there's any accusation of corruption, that's a worrisome fact. So obviously, it does warrant a statement. And the statement he shared in court is quite true. And for anybody who understands the impact of us sitting in this court, it could be personal, it could also be financial. We don't have this kind of money for 7 years to be in a court of law paying. That's money. Secondly, out of that, you get to lose your own income. So where are you going to get this money? So obviously, the court that is not dealing with the case expediently is actually a challenge. There is no court of law unless South Africa doesn't have a constitution where the rights of a person are not respected. You can't get to a court for 7 years where you have never taken a stand to argue the case and you still want to believe that's not frustrating. It is. Secondly, that case, at a point when we thought now we're able to actually separate the charges, they didn't come up with charges because they don't have them.
Well, Malu, Sindiswa Gomba also somewhat suggesting that these are delaying tactics by the prosecution to try and keep them in court. Why would she think that way?
In fact, Koli, it's not only Sindiswa Gomba who is of the view that really this is all about delaying tactics. I also spoke to Zukiswa Ncita. Remember her. She's the former mayor of the Buffalo City municipality. She is accused number 2 in this particular matter, while Gomba is accused number 5. And Ncita also was telling me about, being frustrated and also going as far as to say she never stole a cent from that money, and in fact went as far, Koli, to say to me that she in fact is the one who reported this matter to authorities. And of course, Sindiswa Gomba also telling us that in fact, she was ready a long time ago to take a stand, and she believes this is a delaying tactic that's being applied by the prosecuting team. Let's take a listen.
Myself and others, we thought immediately we were going to get on a stand and argue the case. Because everybody said we are ready. Now that they said they are ready, you can see, as you have been here, they are not. There's nothing wrong in making representation on the basis of the charge you see, and on the basis of exactly the affidavits that are provided by their own witnesses, that you don't see yourself in this space. So quite correctly, there's nothing, and you don't have to wait for an indictment if they've got that, because easily they could quash the charges. And apologize for that fact, that they put you on a stand for nothing. So that today you saw that it's not coming. You may actually summarize it as delaying tactics, because some people could be nice for us that we are in court and our lives are on stand still. There's a lot that's being discussed as a country where you find it very difficult to even respond to, because you don't even know why you are in court.
Malu, let's leave it there for the time being. Malugelo Booi crossing to us from outside the East London Magistrates Court, where the former health MEC in the Eastern Cape, along with 14 others, are now protesting. They're saying that the state is delaying their case, and this has financial implications for them.